Hello and welcome to yet another interesting session of Healthcare Conversations. Today with us we have Dr. Rishik Sharma. He has completed his Doctor of Pharmacy, that's PharmD, and after which he pursued data science. So today he is here with us to solve our most commonly asked questions about data science, the confusions that go around with the word data science, and also for the healthcare students, for the pharmacy students. He is here to guide us, pave the way for becoming a data scientist. So without any delay, let's dive right into the video. What role does a data scientist play in the healthcare field?
Okay, so how do we start this? Okay, yeah, so it's like in every other field, basically, it's trying to formulate and solve problems with data to expand business. We need to decrease costs, and it's basically the same across all domains. The difference is basically the data used, because our healthcare data is pretty different from what we can say in finance or in numbers, where there are a lot of numbers. We have a little different data, maybe more categorical at times. Then the statistical techniques used can be different, because we have pretty different levels of significance that we need to understand. Then, for an example, I can give you like a broken stick method. So when you need to do an analysis like how much market share can you gain for a new product into the market, so then you use a technique like that. So that is a little different with comparison to other domains. Then there is, I guess, the main issue is privacy. We have a lot of privacy issues with healthcare patients and everything. We have to maintain that. So there are a lot of cybersecurity and other aspects of it that we need to take care of. Apart from it, what else can it include? Yeah, the roles, maybe what all duties can be included are like basically optimization of things, research, automation, maybe scaling of things into production level, or maybe even using cloud techniques and everything to. Okay, just a second. Hypothesis testing and maybe even deployment of our products. These all can be included in a data scientist's role, and that is across all domains. That does not change. The only changes are like the business problems and the data that we use.
So thank you for that. My next question would be, what's the difference between AI and ML and data science? You know, as all these terms are used very commonly and synonymously, in fact. So what's the main difference between these three domains?
You could say AI is building intelligent systems, and it encompasses a lot of things, mainly like ML is a part of AI, deep learning is a part of AI. You are just building a system that is not very highly managed by a human. Is basically AI. Anything AI is not managed by humans continuously. So we don't need to feed anything continuously to it. It can automatically learn from things. Like the basic example for it is like the Roomba. Do you know about that? Like the cleaning device that we have in foreign countries. We have the thing that goes around the house and cleans everything. So that is something you could say is AI. Then ML is just an implementation of applied mathematics and statistics. It has multiple techniques. It's used for basically prediction and forecasting. It's can be also used for segmentation. So if you want to segment a market, like you don't have any data, like you have a lot of data, but you don't know what kind of products people are buying. So you just segment it into 4 kinds, and then you can basically then market them accordingly. So those kind of things come under ML, supervised and unsupervised learning, and all those things come under ML. So it's a technique inside the bracket of AI. And data science, how do I say? It's like using AI, ML, other techniques, basically common sense as well, to drive insights for business and then helping people make decisions. So the idea is you have a lot of data. So how to use it? So one way of using it is using ML, modeling something and making predictions and then doing something. Another way is maybe using some statistical analysis and reporting and then just giving a group insight. Like these are the states that I want to uh, target, or these are the patients I want to target. These are the doctors I want to target. We could say for 1 mg or even like Practo and all of those things. These guys are trying to do all of these things, that we need to target these doctors. These are like digitally high, they have a digital high affinity, and we can target them. That is one thing. Another thing is just putting the whole perspective of the company into a better direction. So you could optimize their product efficacy, you could optimize their sales, you could make marketing easier, you could do digital marketing for them. Other things include like research for data science. So there are like multiple things under data science as well, but just a chunk of it is AI and machine learning. The other part is basically analysis and problem solving.
That was indeed a very insightful answer, and I like the way you categorize the three of the terms in three different ways, so it was easier to understand. So I myself was very confused about it till now, but now I have a clear perspective, about what AI exactly is, about what ML is, and what data science is. So thank you. And my next question would to you would be like. How does a general day as a data scientist look? Like, how does it look for a data scientist, the whole day in the life of data scientist?
Yeah, to be honest, it has been hyped a lot. So yeah, you must have read like this is the sexiest job in the market and everything, but that's not true. So it's like every other job. You have to deal with people, you have to do a lot of things around a lot of people. So it's not that great, but it's still fun. So what all can be included in it is at the beginning you would have like how would I say? Hmm, just a second. It could include, yeah, so basically it starts with, if you want to go to like a life cycle process of it. So there would be a client you'd be working for. They would give you a business problem, or maybe your seniors would give you a business problem. And then you try and devise a way to solve it. First, by understanding the questions, then the domain of it, you get the data, you start working on the data, clean it, you can then do some exploratory analysis, statistical analysis, on which you get a lot of insights about the data, about the problem, and how to go about things. Then, if required, you could always build a model for that. You could make a prediction model for it basis on the problem. And then you could derive insights and do some hypothesis testing. And you could get an idea about, like recently we had, in my company, we had something like teleoptimization. So we have to make some basic changes based on some logic so that our product goes to the right people. So we are making calls to the right people. So that is one thing. One of the things that I can just give at the top of my mind that comes. Yeah, this is how it goes. Like then you do all of this research work and analysis, and everything is reported, and then it is presented to the higher ups. Then we maybe make it go into the production, or if it is like just a deliverable, we just deliver it to the client in the way that they require. So this is just kind of a life cycle for a service provider company, a service company. for a product company, it would be a little different. It would be like researching on the product itself. So it could be either drug discovery, either it could be like in clinical research, we have a lot of documentation. So that can be automated. So you must have heard about the word NLP.
Yeah.
Natural language processing. So basically using that, we could make a summarization app or something like that, so that we could give some rules for writing up our documentation, like protocols and everything. So reports and everything, we could just automate that thing. That is one part of using these techniques into automation and just not requiring a lot of human touch to it.
Okay.
Because it's straightforward, right? The most of the part is really straightforward. So that can be done. That could be coming from a clinical research company point of view. Then if it is a diagnostic company, so the basic example is getting X-ray data, and then based on the diagnosis labels, we could make a tagger, like this is this much percent is this disease, this could be this much percent this is this disease. Like that, we could categorize the X-rays based on the previous data. So that is one of the jobs that could come under this particular frame of healthcare. So there are multiple, I wouldn't say just one, but there are like many things that we could do with data science in healthcare. Like 1mg is doing a lot of things. So they have, I have a friend working over there. So they optimize how to supply. Basically, their supply chain management is a lot of over there, right? So where I need to put more drugs, where I put which go down, I need to put a lot of drugs. So that kind of supply chain is also handled by data people. So these kind of things are, these are different cases that you can think of with a daily perspective. Like depending on the company, it would change.
So, madam, it's reasonable to say that, the role of a data scientist is very varied, and because of that, it just becomes more interesting than other jobs, and that's why it is so hyped up and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question to you would be, like, I'm a healthcare student myself, and if a student like me from the healthcare field is, aspiring to become a data scientist, what should he do, or like what skills should he acquire to become a data scientist?
First of all, understand that do you want to do it? Basically, because it's a lot of stress and a lot of things that are not usually there for a healthcare student. So we don't have any maths, we don't have applied statistics, we don't have, maybe because we are in PharmD, we have biostatistics and all that. So that helps, those kind of things helps, your domain knowledge helps. But basically you need to skill up on mathematics. The differentiation and integrals should be pretty neat. Then because you won't understand some concepts, because that is something required while modeling and everything. If you want to do all those kind of things, then it is required. If you want to do an analyst basis job, then you need to focus on your statistics. So these are the two subjects that go hand in hand with either data science or data analysis. And you'll have to skill up. Like I also don't have that much skill. I don't think I am that good in maths, but a basic level of understanding is required everywhere. So that is one thing you need to do. Secondly, you need to know how to implement the skills that you have learned, like the concepts that you have learned. If you're learning linear regression or logistic regression, so why are we using those particular algorithms to predict something? Why are we doing it? How are we doing it? How to implement it in various kind of technologies? How to do it in Python? How to do it in Excel? You should know all these kind of technology side of things, like because when the data gets heavier, the more the data, Excel starts to crash. So we need to have somewhere where we can use even Python has parallel processing and all those things we can use in Python, but even at times Python also crashes, like it doesn't respond. So then you need big data and cloud computing. So as you go up the frame, you need more processing power and computer. So that kind of skills you need to take up as you go ahead. All those things are kind of required. To sum it up, I would say good analytical and problem solving skills, logic, good logic, uh, an ethic to work hard, and yeah, maths.
Okay, that was a very good answer actually, and very precise to the point, just like we wanted it to be. So thank you so much for that. And then my next and last question to you is, in the with the growing role of data scientist in the healthcare field, what do you think like the future of healthcare looks from now?
I think it only helps healthcare. It aids it in certain ways. You can see that as I've given the example of an MGM multiple times. In these times, we need deliveries and everything. So that is one side of it. Then there are automated surgeries. So there are, for precision, we have like a particular device is made for surgery itself, and that can help, right? The other thing is aiding into diagnosis where there are no doctors. If you have seen AI in healthcare, there is a good series on YouTube around AI. I guess it's from YouTube itself. So that's the one. I will share you a link if required. Basis that I saw, even in India, they are trying to, where there are no specialists in rural places, they put up just a device. That device goes up to the specialist in the town, and then so the data goes up to the specialist with a prepared diagnosis and it was, I guess, something related to the retinas. It was something related to the eyes. So ophthalmologist goes to an ophthalmologist, and then that guy just says that if this is a disease, then treat it with this. If it is not, treat it with this, whatever the problem is. So that kind of reach is increased based IoTs and all these devices. So we can, if even the doctor gives just an R, he would have all the summary reports and everything along with the uh, X-rays or the scans, and he can better give a better diagnosis. So it only helps. This technology is only to help people. I don't think virtual doctor would be very in the near future. That won't be a possibility, but maybe in 50 years or maybe even sooner. I don't know, but that is not going to happen. So it's one thing. The second thing is like companies like Novartis and even Pfizer. They are bringing up drugs fast. So the life cycle of a drug. So from the basis of discovery to the production time, it almost takes 10 to 15 years to let it come into market. So even that has been reduced to less than 10 years for a lot of drugs. Then drug discovery in bioinformatics as well. So we have new drugs coming up very quickly for diseases that never had a treatment. But we are able to do that basis of this data and this huge amount of analysis that we can do right now. So how to get that, how to work on those databases and try to formulate new protein sequences to treat some of the diseases. This kind of work is also being done. So on a very high scale. So there's a company called ThoughtWorks. They have this engineers for research kind of program where they are doing this. So all this kind of stuff is only going to help. So I think it's a good future. And yeah, it's looking forward to working over there in that particular phase where we are just adding value to our healthcare system.
That's a great. Everyone would love to contribute to healthcare. Like, in fact, the healthcare professionals even more. So, it was a very knowledgeable answer because I did not know about these technologies that are going on and around. And the way you said that you don't have so much knowledge, but I guess like you are at par from most of us, like most of the healthcare students, because you have all these recent updates and well, we don't. So
yeah, I just entered it, right? I've just entered the industry, and this is like a boom of knowledge that's coming into. But yeah, everyone goes through those things. I'm just a step or two ahead.